In this video, we're going to cover how to get the AtScale Community Developer Edition up and running, configured, and how to leverage some of the built-in tutorial data that comes with it. So we're going to go ahead and go out to our community site, and you can download that developer edition for free. Just give us the first name, last name, email, and we'll send you a license key and download instructions within moments. So go ahead and get that started, and once you get that, we're going to start to configure the AtScale Developer Edition. We're going to use Docker Desktop in order to configure that, and we're going to run our Docker Compose up with the D command in order to pull the latest bits from AtScale and then get them up and running in Docker Desktop. This is also the command you'll use to do your upgrades. We provide lots of documentation on our doc site, as well as our help center, where you can find a lot of pertinent details on how to manage, how to get up and configured, and how to leverage AtScale. So that's going to go ahead and run, and then we'll see in Docker Desktop that the AtScale Community Edition will pop up. We want to give it a few minutes and wait for that to be all green. So wait for all the services to come up and available. And once they do, then we can go ahead and log into the UI, gaining access to our newly deployed AtScale Community Edition. And there we go, all up and running. So now we're going to go to localhost to get logged in. The default password is admin. It's also in the email you've gotten. So you go ahead and use that to get logged in. And the first thing it's going to ask you is to update and change that password. So you can go ahead and make it whatever relevant password you wish. After the fact, you can always use our security features to add your own custom user with user-defined roles and services in order to really truly define this and get used to it, or have multiple users gaining access to AtScale. So we'll go ahead and put our community@atscale.com email in, submit that, and now we are in. First thing you're going to do is you're going to have to provide that license file. So go back to your email, copy that license, and click on the Update License button. That will open a window where we can now paste in our key file. You want to include that first part that says key/en as well, just to note. Once we submit that, there we go. We'll have an activated license that we can start to leverage. Now with AtScale, if you see this for the first time, you see a lock screen, just go ahead and give it a quick refresh. That's just the license key unlocking the features and functionality of AtScale. So now we can see our AtScale Design Center, and we can see our pre-loaded AtScale tutorial repos. So we've got internet sales, TBCDS, we've got AdventureWorks, to allow you to get used to how to use the product. You can see these here, so we can go ahead and copy one of the URLs, and we can actually go out to this. This is within our OpenSML Git repo. We can see all the detail here, so you can see the instructions around that, what the models do. You can also see how to load data from other data warehouses, so Databricks or Snowflake, BigQuery. If you want to use your own data platform, in the Quick Start guide, we walk you through exactly how to do that. This is all using the baked-in Postgres data that's within the service. But again, you can see here all the different links to the model repos, so you can get access to whichever one you wish. This is also where AtScale will continue to add more content over time to give you more and more access. So now let's take a quick walk through AtScale. We can see our model, our internet sales model here. We see our visual designer, where we are now able to go and leverage that. We can navigate some of the descriptive text, but we can start to see how that model is built. We could use the visual design editor, or there is a code editor here where you can see the actual YAML of that. So this is using that SML. If you're interested, go back to that repo and read up on OpenSML and our modeling language. What we can see in our repo is also all the components we care about. So our connection, which goes back to that local Postgres database, which we can see here, that is within the container deployment. So this is something that we've preloaded for you with that data. So you can navigate through those different tables if you wish to explore what the tutorial data looks like. You can also see here we have a couple predefined data sets, so like our fact internet sales. We can look at what that definition is and some of the key pieces of information there. We have pre-baked metrics, so we can start to look at some of these things like customer counts, different sums and totals. We have some custom dimensions, so like our gender dimension here, which is pre-baked into the model. So this should give you a quick leg up on how to get used to this and how to get understanding of it. We can navigate by double-clicking into those different dimensions. If we want to go back, we simply follow the breadcrumbs at the top and go back to the core model. So that way you're never far away from where you need to be. You can also see with that we've built in not just simple dimensions and metrics, some complex hierarchies, some complex date models, some complex date dimensions that are pre-baked to give you, again, that leg up to get an understanding of how to use this. So now what we want to do also with Git is you can see just like you would in any other repo, we've got branching, we've got different repos, different levels of access. The ones that are there are all the public ones from AtScale. But if you want to add your own, you can go back to the Getting Started guide and take a look at how to do that there. Now we're going to want to deploy this model so we can connect it to our BI tools. So we're going to go to our deployment option. We're going to hit the deploy button. And then we'll see that it gets actively deployed. Now we can go into our connection settings on our catalog, and we can see the different components here. One of the things I want to do is I want to make sure I generate that XMLA token because I'm going to use that for Power BI. So I just have to hit the button, and now I've got a new endpoint that shows up, my MDX and token, which is available to me. So this is how I'm going to use to get around any additional authentication. If I want to connect with something like Excel, I can just use the MDX endpoint with my custom username and password to get that working. Now we'll go ahead and take a look at some different BI tools. So here we're going to use Excel to start, and we're going to go data, we're going to say get data, and we're going to get it from our analysis services. We're going to put in that component. Now I'm using parallels on my local machine, so I have to change that with a host file. If you want detail on that, go to our help center and our knowledge base articles. You can find details on how to do that there. And there we have it. Here is my model. So I can take a look at my different dimensions and metrics. I can add into my pivot table that sales amount. I can look at some of the different catalog detail here as well. What you'll see is the similar structure that we saw in AtScale as far as how that data is organized and how the fields are listed. So we can start to add different components in here, and I'll see them brought live from AtScale over to Excel for me to use and consume. Next, we'll take a look at Power BI. So again, we're going to use that MDX plus token in order to work with the authentication for Power BI. The great thing about all of these is that I can leverage those live connections. There's no data extracts. There's no time to rebuild the cubes. It's a simple live query that's happening through the back end. So again, we'll go in here. I can get data. I can either use analysis services, or if I hit the more button, I can actually find a AtScale models endpoint. So either one will work. But for the demo, we're just going to use the SSAS endpoint, change that out from localhost to our mapped bridged connection, and connect. Same thing goes here. You'll see that internet sales catalog, and you see your different models that exist. You can see some of the detail here. Hit OK, and now you'll be able to start leveraging them just like you would any other data connection within Power BI. Again, on the right, you can see all the different categorization of those measures and dimensions that we've got. So we'll do the same thing. We'll grab that sales amount. We'll add it into Power BI. You see that brought back that live query. And then we'll do the same things. We'll add in that color dimension. And then finally, that gender as well. So you see the different data can be represented however you wish, but again, this is all pulling back data live via queries through AtScale. Now, lastly, what we want to do, we're going to go back into AtScale and we're going to get our TDS file. This is right from that same connection dialog, and it's going to let us connect with Tableau. So now within Tableau, again, we can see the same thing, that different folder hierarchy is there because of the way that we've configured it, and we can bring in those same pieces of data. So we'll grab our sales amount. We're going to grab our color with a little bit of effort. And then lastly, we can do the same thing. We'll add that gender dimension within there. And there we have it. So 3 different BI tools, 1 AtScale deployment. Now, last thing I want to show you within here within AtScale is, as we run this, the queries that are being run. So we can see those live queries here. We can see the data coming in. We can see what those different translations are. You can also see that we have a lot of the optimization on AGs here. As AtScale processes these queries, it will automatically generate aggregate tables on the back-end systems that you can be leveraging for optimization on the queries. So we had that all automated, some automated data engineering happening in the background, allowing us to optimize those queries on the fly. If you want to see those in particular ag tables that we've been creating, simply go to the aggregates section and you can see the different ag tables that exist, when they were created, when they've been updated, and what they exist of. So hopefully you found this as helpful as we can make it. If you have any questions, let us know on the Help Center, and happy modeling.